And welcome back to my channel, and thank you for tuning in to today's video, which I'm hoping is going to be kind of like a bit of a catch-up of sort of home renovations. So I'm sort of pointing to inside. We haven't really done anything inside. The majority of it is all kind of out that way, out yonder. I had to write myself a list of stuff that I want to cover with you guys today, because we haven't made a home video in a couple of weeks. The last one you guys would have seen was the first instalment of, or part one of the sort of mini budget pool makeover. So I'm not actually going to show you any inside or any like progress that I've made inside the pool house, or inside at least the pool side of the pool house today, because I'm going to leave that for a dedicated video, part 2 of the budget pool renovation. But I do have 2 little notebook pages worth of stuff to kind of update you guys on, because admittedly we haven't been on top of filming as much as I think what I'd hoped we would have been, and that's my fault because I'm in charge of filming. But yeah, I've been a little bit kind of haphazard, and you'll just have to excuse my slightly out of breath and frizzy appearance, because I was ill last night, unexpectedly ill, and I'm just feeling a little bit drained, frazzled, and extremely hot and sticky today. So just bear with me. Right, so first things first, Simon and I have mentioned this, I was going to say little project. It was probably more of a larger project, to be honest, especially when it comes to budget. We've mentioned this before, and it was of course the raising of the bifolds. We had our old bifolds removed. This all had to be raised up because for some bizarre reason the previous bifolds were installed by the previous owners below the level of the indoor floor. If you saw our home tour, you would have seen this, and there's of course snippets over on Instagram on the home account as well where you can see that in more detail. So this project is now up to the point where the new bifolds, that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting for those to go in. So we're currently boarded up. During the day we take the last 2 boards off so that we've got some natural light in here, and then once the new bifolds go in, I'll show you guys outside in a moment because we're going to have a step built, but then we can have all of this making good done on all of the plaster, etc. as well. And then if I just take you guys over here to where those doors were installed, the double cretal doors and the stolen light, is that what I said it was called? Those little light boxes at the top. All of this making good, which still hasn't been done, but this can all be done at the same time as when the bifold area is done, because it just makes sense. If we're going to have someone in to come and plaster, they can do it all in one go. And then I can finally get rid of the remaining green. Project number 2, I hope you guys can hear me because it's a little bit windy today, and also someone's got their ride along mower going. But project number 2 was something which was an unexpected project. We hadn't planned on doing this at all, and I'm really sorry because I don't think I have a before video of this area, but basically this entire area where you can see all this gravel, not up on the patio, but all this and here was all decking, and it was all completely rotten, and the dogs love charging down this bit down here because there's lots of birds and animals that like to sort of congregate down here, and of course they like to go and terrorize the animals, or at least investigate and see what they are. So we knew it was only a matter of time before one of them, or potentially one of us, went through the decking. So we ripped all of that up. Ridiculously enough, we decided to do that on the hottest day of the year when it was 32 degrees, which was not very enjoyable, but at least we got a bit of a workout done. And then Simon made these steps, which are basically exactly the same as where the steps were that were made in decking, but they were made of decking obviously and a wooden base, which again was all completely rotten. So Simon has made these out of cement and breeze blocks and then filled them in, which we kind of did as a bit of a team effort, with some stone shingle. We ordered a huge bag of it. He brought it in by the wheelbarrow load, and then I got to spread it all out and fill in these areas, fill in these steps, which are exactly the same size as the decking ones, and eventually they will be patioed. So that's why we went for breeze blocks, because they're cost effective and you can just whack patio slabs or tiles, whatever you want to call them, over the top, and then it will all be finished nicely. All of this shingle and gravelly stuff needs to be completely compressed with a whacker plate, which Simon has done before, so he may well do that. We might get someone else in to do that if they're going to do the patio as well. And then this is the patio area, this is an additional patio area to the one that we have outside of the bifolds. This is actually going to be like a little fire pit area. So we actually bought the fire pit this morning, and we're looking for some Adirondack chairs, you know, the ones with the big high back and they're quite low. So we're going to have 4 of those and a fire pit here, which would be just a nice little sort of chill area to come and sit. Got lots of greenery, some big trees here, which is really nice. Super peaceful, really, really quiet, unless someone has their ride-along mower going. And also you can see into the pool house, which is just here, which I'm not going to show you guys because I'm going to save that for part 2. But again, all of this patio will be taken up and we'll have a new sort of our choice of patio slabs put down. We also need a lot of our fence panels, or more than likely all of our fence panels, replacing, because we had ivy completely stuck over them, which we stripped off, apart from these bits which have gone over into next door, but we're working with our neighbours on that. We also had ivy all over here on these fence panels as well, which we completely stripped off, and that was not a fun day for Simon, who is a very heavy sufferer of hay fever. Right, now over here we actually had quite a few fruit bushes, which we've kept some of. Looks like I need to water that one. I'm in charge of watering and it looks like I'm slacking a bit, so I'll do that in a moment. But yes, we had quite a few fruit bushes. We took some out for some fruits that we weren't really big fans of, and then we bought a couple of extra ones. So this one here is a raspberry bush, which we've already had a few fruits off. And as you can see here, there's some more coming through. So that one was an existing one, as well as this one here at the back, which is also raspberries. We then bought 3 blueberry bushes, which are here. So we've got some blueberries coming through there, which haven't ripened yet. And then this one, which actually we decided to keep for the birds because they love it, which, if you can see here, these little fruits, which almost look like little grapes. And these ones here, the ones that are red, is when they start to ripen. They're called Joster berries, and the birds love them. Apparently they taste like a mixture of I think it's a blueberry or blue currant when they're ripe, so the red colour, and then a gooseberry when they're more of the sort of greeny colour. And we're going to just keep them because the birds like them and we love to feed the birds. And then over here, this little section, in fact it's probably better if I go around the other side, so hang on a minute. Right, this area here, again, for those of you that follow over on Instagram, on the home account, this area was full of bamboo, and it was feet and feet, in fact it was meters and meters high. It was crazy high. And fortunately for us, because I know a lot of you have had experience with bamboo and it just makes you want to die inside, but fortunately for us, the people previous, or possibly the people previous, put in a steel container which is buried in the ground. So that actually contained a lot of the roots, or it contained all of the roots actually. None of them were able to grow outside of this container. So we were fortunately able to get all of the bamboo out, and this was a few weeks ago that we did this project now, removing the bamboo, and we completely soaked this whole area with the existing soil. We've also replaced quite a lot of the soil since then in vinegar, and poured copious amounts of boiling water in there as well, which completely killed off any of the bamboo. Then we left that to make sure that the rain got on the soil so that it could sort of wash away the vinegar essentially once it had done its job, and sort of de-acidize, I don't know if that's even a term, but I think you know what I mean, so that the soil was then ready for actually planting new items in there, which is what we have in here now. So we've got some white Helga roses, which are lovely. We've got white lavender, which for anyone who hasn't had white lavender before, it's beautiful. It smells exactly the same as the purple lilac-y lavender, and the bees love it equally as much. We have this thing here, which I've forgotten the name of it, but it only lasts for one summer season and then it dies. So I don't really know why Simon bought that, because we don't normally buy plants that only die for one, or that only last for 1 year. We have one white hydrangea down at the end. And then if I pan back here, we have 3 of these beautiful salix trees, which are a form of willow. And they're so nice, they're so wispy. Apparently they go like a pinky colour, so it's kind of like a flamingo. I think that's what they're called, flamingo willows, or flamingo salixes. And they turn a pinky colour in spring, and it's actually leaves, if I can zoom in, if you can see, leaves and not flowers that change colour, which is very interesting indeed. So this is Simon's favourite little area of the garden now. And yeah, I think that's come along quite nicely. Now, in terms of the pots, because I know this is a question that I've had over on Instagram, I painted all of our pots, these ones here. We also have the ones down over there with the eucalyptus trees in, and we also have the same pots but much larger with our olive trees. These were terracotta pots, which I painted over a few sunny days. And I painted them in a paint by Sandtex, I think it's called, and the colour is sandstone. I'll leave that detail down in the description box for anyone that wants to refer back to it. There's our old bifolds, look. They're going to be taken away and removed by the people that come and install the new bifolds. Now, with regards to patio at this end, this will all be obviously removed, replaced. We'll probably rejig it a little bit. We've got some more decking here which also needs to be taken up, but we haven't got around to that yet. And the reason is because this actually isn't rotten, so it's not as much of a priority in terms of safety as the one over the other end was. So we've kind of just left that for now. But again, eventually when we get around to doing the patio, we haven't even looked at slabs or stones or anything yet, but this will all match the other patio down at the other end. There's the olive trees as well, with the humongous pots. And then I do just want to show you guys in the gym. Right, now you guys have seen in the gym a couple of times, I say gym, I'll use that term very loosely because at the moment it's more like a brick shed with some fitness equipment in, but eventually it will be a nice, very glamorous gym. So yes, we have always had my treadmill over there, but we have since had a bit of a rejig of this side because we actually got a new piece of equipment. We've got this big multi-gym thing which has got all kinds of, I don't know all the technical terms, I just use it, but like a leg press and pulley things and lifty things and yeah, all the gubbins on there. And then Simon's got like a little free weight area over here. So now that we have this, I come in here and I use this at 5:30 every morning. So I come in and I do my little workout, do the treadmill, I use the multi-gym, I do some yoga, and so it has sort of had me thinking about starting to at least plan or, you know, kind of get a bit of a inspo or some sort of idea as to what we want to do in here. Now when we actually bought this multi-gym, Simon said he struggled to find one that had all the items that we wanted on it for a reasonable price, because budget is also very, very important, but that was aesthetically pleasing, which is obviously the element that was most important to me. And as you can see, this is not aesthetically pleasing. I would have preferred for this to be all black. So potentially I may well spray this. And actually I was just wondering if anyone has found a paint or solution. Has anyone upcycled their gym equipment? This is just that sort of faux leather vinyl gym stuff. There is a spray paint, I think it's by Rust-Oleum, that's called Direct to Vinyl, and that comes in black. So I'm thinking that that could potentially be something that I could use on all these padded parts, but I'm unsure as to how that paint would hold up with sweat. Not mine, obviously, because I don't sweat, I just glisten. But yes, it is obviously a piece of fitness equipment, so sweat would be involved. So yeah, that's something that I would kind of want to do like a little mini makeover on. The majority of it's metal, so it would be relatively easy to tape off certain areas and spray. And then this is Simon's bench that he's had for years. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it though, so again, potentially just might give that a bit of a freshen up and a bit of a spray paint. And then in the gym in itself, obviously we're going to do a bit of a makeover in here at some point. I would quite like to use some of that acoustic wall paneling, get some gym mirrors in here. We need to redo the floor. We also need some gym mats. Like my treadmill at the moment is just, look at this, precariously popped on a bit of plywood, I think that is. And we do need something a bit more proper. I'd like to have a nicer yoga mat and a bit more of a nicer yoga area. So yes, this is going to be something which hopefully we'll be able to do in the next year, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little update on kind of how we've got it set up in here and hopefully what we're sort of looking to do. Now, coming back inside, I don't think there's really anything aside from obviously these little bits that need finishing off here. We've still got bits that need to be done like lighting. These are still here, so we need to replace those. We did actually go and buy these yesterday, which I'm going to show you guys. So these, before I show you the actual prints, these are ginormous canvas prints which we bought from HomeSense. They were in the clearance section. You'll see why in a minute when I twizzle them round, but they are ginormous. This one is, well, I don't really know what the measurement is, but it comes up to just below my boob. So they're absolutely huge, and the reason we bought these is because I'm going to upcycle them. We're going to have that larger one here over the sofa, which, oh, I have a new cover for the sofa. I bought it from Bems, so that's something that we have to do as well. And then this slightly smaller one we're hoping to have over here on this wall, and then eventually we'll have that wooden oak floating shelf along there. So this is just quite a large expanse of plain wall, which I'm not adverse to, but I do love a bit of an arty upcycle. So we bought these from HomeSense in the clearance section. This massive one here was $29.99, which is an absolute bargain because of the sheer size of it, and just to buy a blank canvas on its own is actually quite expensive. They're like £100 plus for something of this sort of size. And even when you look at making these canvases from scratch, just by buying the sort of fabric, the canvas, stretching it over yourself, you then need the staple gun, and you need to buy all the timber, and obviously due to timber prices, which have just risen crazy amount over the last few months, it's actually cheaper to find these. You can either find them secondhand, like in charity shops or perhaps Facebook Marketplace, but I check those kind of places regularly, and I never seem to find any massive size canvases. So when we went to Homebase yesterday, we found these and just thought, well, do you know what, we don't care what the actual artwork looks like. I mean, obviously that would never that would never, it's, you know, it's not actually that offensive, it's just colourful. So, you know, that's just obviously not our vibe, as you can tell. We are the House of Beige. And then this one, which I think says Love of Music, sideways like that. Love of Music, I think. Yeah, so basically I'm going to paint over those and give them an upcycle, which I'll probably turn into a little reels over on Instagram. Right, I'm just trying to make sure that I've covered everything that I had on my list to go through with you guys. So internally, aside from the little bits which I've already covered and upcycling these canvases, the only other thing I wanted to update you guys on was windows. Now initially, windows was something that Simon and I were in disagreement over when we first moved in. I thought they were really important, especially in terms of aesthetics and curb appeal. And Simon was of the opposite mindset. He didn't think they were very important at all. He's not fussed about what things look like from the outside, just from the inside, which I get it, I totally get it. However, after one winter in this house, I think we both came to realise that in terms of efficiency, the existing windows do need to be replaced because they are quite old. So we've done a lot of research, we've been in touch with various different companies, we've been assessing the pros and cons of aluminium versus UPVC and all of these various different things. We are going for black windows. We haven't fully decided on aluminium versus UPVC anymore. Initially it was going to be aluminium, then we started getting some quotes in and realised that they were really expensive, and then we've also found some UPVC which actually is now made much slimmer and also flush, so like a flush profile from the outside. So we are now back to considering UPVC because it is considerably cheaper, and in some cases, depending on the brand and the manufacturer, it's more efficient as well. So we are still kind of in discussions and getting quotes from various different companies, all of them local companies. So we're trying to go local and small rather than these really big sort of like Everest and all the other window companies. I can't think of any others, but you know, all those big window companies you see on adverts. We're trying to go small and local because we think the prices will be fairer. They won't be so inclined to increase their prices and then decrease them, making it out as though you're getting a really good deal. So yes, that is a big project for this year, which hopefully we're going to get done by the end of summer. We'll have made our decision, along with the front door as well, which again I've kind of covered a little bit over on Instagram stories, so if you haven't caught up on any of those bits, they're all saved in various story highlights along my profile. Now I think I have covered everything on the list, and I'm actually feeling a little bit better after talking to you guys. I feel a little bit more uplifted, which is good. So thank you as always for coming and just having this. I know it's a bit of a random video, just a bit of a catch up, not really anything to show you guys in terms of vast transformations, but thank you for joining me anyway. Stay tuned here and on Instagram for any little updates, and I will see you all next time.